Brisbane, ground or approach, notify receipt of Oscar, time check 2330.
G'day, my name is Joe Early. I'm the President of the Australian Certified UAV Operators Association. ACUO is the foundational organisation for commercial operators in Australia and is the peak industry body for professional drone operators. Safety is our primary driver. Even commercial operators find it challenging to keep up with advancing technology nowadays. We trust you will agree that the government should disallow the new Part 101 amendments.
The CASA drone regulations first came into force in July 2002 and relate specifically to the operation of unmanned aircraft or drones. Over the first decade, there were fewer than 30 certified drone operators in service. Today, we have more than 600 certified drone operators across Australia. The latest amendments were supposed to fill in some of the holes found in the original regulations to create a streamlined approach to certification and licensing of drone operators. Current drone operators must be trained and certified to industry standards and demonstrate a high level of risk management, including the qualified use of an aviation radio to deconflict with manned traffic. In many instances, the person will not be required to be trained, and the person operating the drone will have no aviation knowledge and no concept of the actual dangers they pose to aviation and public safety. These omissions will increase the collision risks in controlled airspace and at regional aerodromes across Australia, and this poses an unacceptable risk to aviation and public safety. The new regulations are all about reducing regulatory red tape, but the regulatory burden has already been significantly reduced over the last 2 years. How is an untrained operator with no aviation background supposed to know what a towered aerodrome is, or how this differs from a non-towered aerodrome, or what airspace they are operating in, and how other aviators conduct themselves in Australian airspace in order to maintain safe separation and to maintain aviation and public safety? CASA's only public education to date is this simple pamphlet, which fails to educate the wider public to the dangers of untrained drone use. It's hard enough to regulate well-known threats and risks to aviation safety. Harder still when the technology changes almost by the month. We must take a measured approach in new laws, which reflects quantifiable research on the safety and harm to people from all sources, including the learned wisdom of other responsible regulators like the FAA. Whilst these small drones may seem like harmless toys, there is universal acceptance that a collision between a drone and a manned aircraft could potentially have tragic results, particularly for a small general aviation aircraft, recreational aircraft or a helicopter. And several international research papers support the fact that a drone weighing more than 250 grams has the kinetic energy potential to pose an unacceptable injury risk to the public.
From the perspective of an experienced, insured, and CASA certified UAV operator, the new CASA sub 2 kilogram regulation makes no sense at all. To allow anyone off the street to instantly operate one of these machines without any training, certification, insurance is just not safe or responsible. The new regulation allowing an untrained individual to operate one of these machines to an altitude of 400 feet has the potential to do serious bodily harm if operated incorrectly, and it falls onto a person from any height above a few feet. At full speed, the blades of this Phantom 3 spin at about 14,000 RPMs, which is more than enough energy to seriously harm a person and is potentially lethal if it were to come in contact with the neck or head. For the sake of Australia's public safety, the new CASA UAV regulation must be disallowed in the Senate before the 29th of September's effective date. And I'll call off the heights. "30, 60, and 100.